stopped playing Call of Duty, and I done switched to 2K. Welcome to the According Sources podcast. I'm your host Andrea Williams. Welcome to the show. I know it's been a long time, but we back.
Shouldn't have left you.
Yeah, we shouldn't have left you, but we back. No Rob today. It's me, Chris, Devin. Chris, say hello to the people.
What's going on, people? We missed you.
Devin, say hello to the people.
Yeah. What's good? Yeah, you can't depend on dark skinned folks because
What?
You depending on Rob to show up. You know, we'll be here waiting all motherfucking night. So,
you know, this is ludicrous. This is blasphemous. I'm on my Stephen A. but I'm gonna let it slide, and we're gonna keep it moving. So before we were me, Devin, and Chris were having a conversation before we jumped on. We were talking about Lonzo Ball. Lonzo, I think, is averaging a triple single right now. Wait, what? That's what he's doing. I think it's a triple single at this point in time, and I think a lot of people on Lonzo's back. But I mean, I think we should give him some time. But Chris, you sounded like you want to jump in immediately. Go ahead. What do you got to say about Lonzo and his triple single?
I can't get over the triple single part, man. I don't know. You would think someone in his predicament would try to avoid any type of blowback against him at all. But it's like the Ball family seeks negative attention, so they just thrive off of it. I mean, I understand bad press is good press. Like, there's no such thing as bad press, but at the same time, man, come on. Like,
so what are you talking about? So what are you talking about, Chris? For the people who don't know, because I know what you're talking about, but what is it that you're getting at? What did Lonzo do that you're talking about here?
This man put his face on the Nas album cover and then put on a hoodie walking into Madison Square Garden. Like, you're not trying to get shot after the game.
Yeah. He didn't he say he put the Migos or Lil Uzi Vert or somebody above Nas? Isn't that
above Nas? Yeah.
Yeah, above Nas.
And then he puts his face on the Illmatic, classic Illmatic.
Illmatic. We're not talking about 50 Cent. We're not talking about Busta Rhymes. We're talking about Nas.
Man, Rob is gonna go at your head if he was in here and he heard you talking about Busta, but that's another show for another time. I think it's stupid. It's stupid for him. But I can't even say it's stupid. I mean, look at it. He's a 19-year-old kid. What the hell does he know about Nas? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I understand it. He's probably, I mean, those are the people of his time. That's the music he listens to. He doesn't really want to think about a lot when he's listening to his music. So I'm listening to Migos, and that's fine, or Future, and that's cool. I listen to all of that shit too. But I'm just not. I mean, but I'm 34. I'm about to be 35 years old. So like my palate is different from here. So I understand it. I ain't gonna shoot him for it. But putting your face on the cover after you said, you don't really rock with Nas, that's kind of weird. I think that's just stupid.
I think he's a product of his Harambe loving generation. Like, that's what I call these kids nowadays, the Harambe types. Like, they find so much value in BS music, like Lil Uzi Vert. What's the other kid's name, man?
21 Savage.
Lil Yachty.
Lil
21
Yachty.
Savage. Three of them alone. I mean, they adore them. Like, they got a following. And I remember one day I was like, let me listen. Let me just see what this is about. And maybe I can get into it and see what the hype is. I couldn't do it. I couldn't go one song. Usually I could be like, oh no, maybe I just ride the beat for a little bit. No, I couldn't do it. Could not do it.
I can listen to some 21 depending on my mood, but it's mostly because of the beats, and it's not really what he's saying, because what he's saying is generally trash. But I can listen to some 21, like if I'm like in a mood, like when I'm in Vegas and 21 come on, it's like, we in the club, we trying to, we trying to do our thing. So I understand it, but I think Lonzo just needs to chill out a little bit. But we're talking about the Ball family, and You said something about the Lakers talking to LeVar. What is it that they were talking to LeVar about?
So apparently, I'm not sure if it was tonight after the game or
Did they win tonight or did they
maybe
lose?
earlier in today. They lost.
They
lost in
lost.
overtime. So apparently they reached out to LeVar front office. I'm assuming that's Magic. And I forgot the other
Lincoln.
gentleman's name. Yeah, they probably reached out to him and they were like, "Hey, tone it down. Tone down, the trash talking about Luke Walton saying that your son needs to be coached this way." That's how far this has gone. Like, we tripping about one dude. Like, I remember, you know who this reminds me of a little bit? It reminds me of Barry Sanders' pops. If anybody remembers, probably some of our older cats that listen to us, when Barry Sanders first came in the league, his dad was basically his agent. He was in the locker room talking to the media with his son. And Barry Sanders is an already introverted person who doesn't speak much at all. His dad did all the talking. At one point, it was just like, all right, dude, like, this is enough.
This is enough. We've had enough of this entire Animal House thing that we're doing here with you. Just get the fuck out. Yeah. And that's probably what they need to say to LeVar. I think the whole my son needs to be coached this way, he was shooting his shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe if I throw this out there, it'll be a thing. He was just trying to test the waters a little bit. And I think with them reaching out to him, he realized that he may have overstepped his boundaries just a bit. I am not the LeVar Ball hater. I don't really care one way or the other about him. But I do think he needs to chill out a little bit. And I think the only way he will is if Lonzo tells him to. Like, I understand that's your father, but Lonzo needs to tell him, like, man, look, I'm 19. I'm in the NBA. Like, you got to let me grow on my own. Like, he really needs to be more concerned with LiAngelo thieving ass and LaMelo and, trying to, because, I mean, I think, obviously, do we all agree that LiAngelo is never going to touch an NBA court?
Never.
Okay.
He's never going to touch it.
He got close tonight, sitting on the front row.
Oh, they let him on the front row? I think international felons were allowed.
Yeah, you're not lying. Mom, Dad, and the boys were sitting on the front row.
That's cute. But, yeah, he's never, like, okay, but LaMelo may.
May. If he stops acting like he's Steph Curry.
Man, I give that a strong maybe too.
But those are the things. Those are the things that he needs to be working with LaMelo on. Like, you cannot take these shots. These are the shots. Like, if you're going to be in it, like a real basketball player, right? You can't do the things that you're doing. He's more concerned with like all this other shit that I, don't necessarily understand. But talking about how Luke Walton is coaching and all this other stuff. And I think LeVar has a lot of other things that he could really be focusing on. Like, okay, you got Lonzo to the league. He's good. Like, you got to let him go. You got him to the league. It's time for you to work on your other two boys, especially the one that can't stop shoplifting in foreign countries.
Still the dumbest shit I ever heard. I remember when that news came out. I was
reading that. It's China,
fam. I was like, is this for real or is this like some type of, media takeout type shit?
Like, you gotta be a real fucking idiot especially in any Asian country, like anything in Asia, you should not be doing. They are serious about that shit, yo. Like, really, really serious about it. Now, what is it, like a 99.99999% chance of conviction?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, absolutely.
Fam, you're a black man in China stealing. You asking for it.
You are asking for trouble. So it shouldn't have come as no surprise that what happened to him happened. But those are the things that I think that LeVar should be really focusing on and not focusing on what's going on with the Lakers. This dude is already in the league. He's your success story. Go someplace else. Go to someone else. Work on LaMelo. Work on LiAngelo. Don't worry about any Lonzo. Let Lonzo be Lonzo. he got there. He got to the league for a reason. Now you got to let him grow. These other two dudes aren't there, and one of them damn sure ain't getting there. Like Leangelo would have probably been better off as a tight end.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like 6'4", 235, something
Yeah,
like
he's
that.
pretty big.
Yeah, he's a big kid. But just because you can shoot, don't mean you should be. You know.
Them niggas
So
teeth.
You know who he reminds me of?
Gronk. Or who?
Like a cross between Anthony Bennett and J.J. Hickson.
Hey man,
Man,
JJ Hickson was at work, boy.
you put him. Yeah, I'll say JJ dunk on you. He'd hit a couple mid-range jump shots. Like JJ was decent, man. Anthony Bennett, on the other hand,
Boy, JJ Bennett on a Thibodeau team, boy, he'd have been working.
you just mixed them two dudes together and made a whole new person.
Hell yeah. Both of them would have been working.
I don't know. Anthony Bennett didn't have any redeeming qualities as a basketball player, so I'm not sure about him.
I don't know what he could do. I mean, he's a 6'8" power forward in today's game. What you gonna do with that?
Not a damn thing.
You ain't LeBron.
He's not LeBron. He couldn't dribble. He couldn't shoot.
Couldn't rebound.
He couldn't rebound. It seemed like at the beginning of his career he was injured a lot too. So I don't know. The Cavaliers made a huge mistake with that one. But then again, the Cavaliers have made a lot of huge mistakes, so it shouldn't come as like some surprise that they would have made one before LeBron went back. So we in the Western Conference. I think we should stay there. Thunder up or thunder down? What's going on? Who's to blame for what's happening in OKC? Is it Russ?
I think no. I think it's purely a lack of organization. And for the longest times I've been trying to make excuses for Billy Donovan, but man, I'm running out of ideas.
I have a question for you. This is the second coach in Russ's career where we've tried to blame the coach for not organizing the team. Because we said the same thing when Scott Brooks was the coach. It's like the problem was that the coaching was bad or something.
Scott Brooks is getting on my damn nerves.
I understand. He gets on your nerves. But what I'm saying is, at some point we have to come to a conclusion that maybe it is the personnel. And if we look at it, the only thing that's like a common denominator between these two particular coaches is Russell Westbrook. Like, I am a huge Russ fan, right? Like, I'm a huge Russ fan. But he has some problems, man. Like, I put a status up on Facebook, and it was mostly to trigger this OKC fan that I'm friends with. But it was like Victor Oladipo left Russell Westbrook and went crazy, and PG-13 went to Russell Westbrook and become Andre Roberson. Like that. Whose fault is it that he's Andre Roberson? It's not like PG-13 is a good basketball player. He didn't come here and forget how to play basketball. He came here and somebody is forgetting to use him in effective ways. I think, that last game they won, they beat somebody. I can't remember who it was, but you look up and Russell Westbrook is like 6 for 24 and 1 for 12 on threes. It's like, why the fuck is Russell Westbrook still taking 12 threes? And he has Melo, and he has he got Melo, he got PG-13, and you look up and these guys are taking like what, 2, 3, 4 shots in a quarter. He's taking like 8. Like, something is wrong there, right? Or am I tripping?
No, I agree.
What do you think?
I mean,
go ahead, Chris.
Dre made a real good point about the fact that this has been the second coach that people blame for OKC's not necessarily failures, just the disarray. I mean, when I first saw that they were getting these two dudes, Melo and PG-13 at the same time, I was like, you know what? 3 All-Stars on one team, they should be good. But it's not. It's not. There's only so much time on the clock for this many players to get this amount of touches. And for this to work, I think Melo got to come off the bench.
it would probably be helpful, right?
Yeah. I mean, considering what D Wade did, and he came off the bench, and look how much better Cleveland's been offensively and defensively. I mean, JR is not the prototypical number two, but he fits in that system really well.
I think you're right.
I also think that Russ is used to playing with somebody who can, like when he had KD was he's really athletic, and he can not exactly run the floor with Russ in a sense of speed and and power, but he could keep up with him in a sense of stretching, moving the floor. I feel like Carmelo and PG are more half court based players on like a team that values like ball movement in the half court, spot up jumpers on the mid range coming off of screens rather than everything. And that offense in OKC is based off of we have to be fast, get back on defense quick, and just score as many points as possible.
You know what? You might be right about that.
Because there's a lot of plays where often it's not like they're just standing there waiting for the ball to come to them. They're just doing things that they're used to doing in a half-court offense rather than trying everybody moving at the same time. Like, I couldn't see Carmelo playing on the Golden State Warriors.
No, not at all.
It wouldn't make sense in a sense of like the way his game is set up. It just doesn't work like that. PG, I could see it. He's athletic enough to play with them. But they just don't match Russ. Like, I understand that they have the names that they have, but that just because they have the names, that doesn't mean that they always match.
I agree. Me and my brother were talking about it. Like, I didn't know how it was going to work out. I thought that it would be working out a lot better than this, but I was interested to see how they were going to make it work, for better or for worse, I suppose. But it doesn't seem like it's working at all. Because you have, like, last year it made sense. And I'll say this. I thought last year that OKC was a hell of a lot better than people gave them credit for being, like, talent-wise. That team had talent on it. It wasn't like they were devoid of guys that could score, rebound, shoot the ball. Like, they weren't devoid of that. Like, a guy doesn't play that well when on a team that isn't good. You know what I'm saying? So the idea that they were they were bad and Russ was like carrying them, like he was the MVP, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
But that team wasn't bad. But
right.
It also made sense for him to take as many shots as he did sometime and do some of the things that he's doing that he did last year. It made sense. This year it doesn't. It doesn't make sense for him to play with this team the same way that he played with last year's team. But he's doing it. He's playing with this team as though this is the same team from last year.
Right.
And it's
stupid.
He has
to carry most of the load.
It's stupid as hell. And that's IQ. That's an IQ thing. Mm-hmm. And, like, of course, some games Russ is just going to go off and they're just going to win. But they're 12-14 right now. And you can't tell me that anybody expected for them to be 12-14 at this point in the game. Like, nope. Nobody expected that. Like, I didn't expect for them to have the best record in the league, but I expected them to be a hell of a lot better than they are right now. And the fact that they aren't is just crazy to me. And I think a lot of it has to do with the way the Russ is playing basketball. He's selfish. He's always been selfish.
Always been selfish.
And it just hasn't always been as noticeable. But this year, it is really noticeable when you playing with guys like that. And you were taking all these dumb. I mean, he was 1 for 12 on threes. Why are you taking 12 3-pointers in a game? Like, once I get to, like, I'm 1 for 6 or 0 for 6 or 0 for 7, I'm like, man, you know what? Maybe I need to slow down on these 3-pointers. Not Russ. Maybe I need to go to the hole more. Russ is just going to keep
Charles Barkley's ever said in his life.
I mean,
the smartest thing.
It's different though, because I mean, we talked about this like all the time in the thread on Twitter, which is it's a lot of people jump in on the thread. It's real cool, but Russ's style of play doesn't equate to success.
Not if he's the guy. And I always had a problem with people saying that he was the man on those OKC teams. Like, it was not a mistake or a coincidence that when he went out,
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Durant became the MVP of the league. That team, and it was not a coincidence that when he was out, the team looked better than when KD was out. I understand everybody hates Kevin Durant right now. I don't. He's my favorite player in the league, but I understand it. I understand it. But Kevin Durant is a better basketball player than Russell Westbrook. It may not be more exciting to watch, but he's a better player. He's a smarter player. He's
KD.
better. Yeah, Kevin Durant he's a much better basketball player than Russell Westbrook. Like
Wait, that's a debate.
yeah, people actually like the whole alpha dog nonsense. Like everybody talks that alpha dog nonsense and that crap. It's garbage. It's an alpha dog that got his team to the NBA finals, and in the NBA finals, he averaged like 30 points and 8 rebounds and 5 assists. And I think he averaged even more than 30 points, and he shot over 50%. Like the idea that Kevin Durant did not perform in the finals against the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Miami Heat is bullshit. He put up numbers. He did it efficiently. He got his team to the NBA Finals. That's what you asked for your alpha dogs to do, right? He did it.
Yeah.
So I don't understand that idea. And people seem to believe that he didn't want the pressure and that Russell Westbrook was the alpha dog. I just think he was smart enough to know that you need to be a little bit you need to parse the way you play the game when you have a guy like Russell Westbrook. And I don't think Russell Westbrook has figured out how to parse his game to fit other people into it. Like you have two other guys that can score the basketball, and you should not be trying to score the basketball as much as you do from the point guard position. Not anymore. Now it's time for you to be like an actual point guard and not just hunt assists, actually get assists and make it so that it's within the confines of the offense. And he just doesn't do that. He just
You
doesn't
know,
do
Dre,
it.
you made a really good point right there. The fact that Russell Westbrook doesn't. I mean, yeah, let's say he'll end the game with like 12 assists, but is he really passing to get 12 assists, or is he actually passing to pass? He's
He's
passing for
passing to get
stats.
assists. Yeah, he's
He's
passing to
passing to
get
get
assists.
and you know what, Dre, you said it earlier, and I was like, and I thought about it for a second. You can actually be selfish and still get assists.
Yes.
100%, and that's what he does. And a lot of the stuff, man, the shit that really bothers me is I love Russ's mentality. This whole why not, even though I feel like he stole that shit from D Rose,
He did say it from D
Yeah, he
Rose.
did it.
and I love that whole mentality. Kids, I love things that can motivate children to make them strive to be better. But I still need to see some shit on the court. And what I see on the court from him all the time is forced. Everything is so forced. I mean, trying to just, mash you guys to drive through the lane. Most of the time, now anybody else that's effective at doing that, like a James Harden, D Rose in his prime, Tony Parker is actually really good at doing it when he has his legs underneath him. You can get to the lane. If you don't make
You
the
mean
shot,
you mean that scoring guard, Tony Parker?
that's a whole nother. Oh, anyways, all these guys that can do it effectively, and when they do it, it doesn't look forced. And what I mean by that is they can go to the lane, they can drive. If they don't get the shot, they're good enough to maneuver themselves to where they get fouled and they can score at the free throw line. Russ tries to do that, and what ends up happening is it's a turnover where he's trying so hard to sell that he's being fouled. If you go in there super hard all the time and you're ferocious, the refs aren't always going to give you that foul because they feel that you can man up and take it. You saw
Max
that
D
early.
Rose.
You saw it early in D
Yeah.
Rose's career when LeBron when he first came into the league and he started driving, they weren't giving him that. The same when Dwight Howard was in his prime, a lot of those times they didn't give him those calls, and they learned to adapt their game. I haven't seen that from Russ. I've just seen a lot of silly jump shots. When you look at the score sheet at the end of the night, most people they just look at the points. They don't look at the free throw. I mean, I'm sorry, the field goal percentage to see how many shots he took, and they're outrageous.
That's true.
The only way it's going to work is if he changes his game. I do agree with you, Chris, that it would look better if Melo came off the bench, but you have to see change from other people as well in the personnel that's actually going to be
He's the leader.
it's actually going to work.
as the leader, he needs to figure out a way for his team to succeed, and he has yet to do that. He hasn't figured it out because he doesn't know how to play with other people. That's
He
why
really
the
doesn't.
offense looked like you take a turn, I take a turn when he had KD. That's
Yep.
why when he had Oladipo, he didn't know how to use Oladipo. And that's why Oladipo went to Indiana, and Oladipo's just losing his goddamn mind.
Let's correct that. He's losing his damn mind because Bray Miles throwing that back. Let's correct that for the
And
record.
that might be true as well, but uh, I don't think having Russ helped his career. But as an MVP, he's supposed to lift the play of the players around him, and he definitely didn't do that with Oladipo. He's not lifting the play of PG-13. He's not lifting the play of Melo, and it's showing in the wins and losses. You take a look at a guy like, okay, I ask y'all a question. Head up. Do you want James Harden or do you want Russell Westbrook?
James Harden.
I want James Harden. Like 100 times out of 100. James Harden is winning. God damn it, he's winning these games, and I like the way he's winning. He's actually
Yeah.
figured out a way to manipulate his game to help Chris Paul fit into what it is that they're trying to do.
And it fits like a glove.
And it's been fitting like a glove. They haven't lost. They've won 10 straight. They haven't lost a game with Chris Paul.
So you say that, Drew. I'm gonna ask you a question. Would you say that Russ? Would you say Russ's play scared James Harden's way to getting traded?
No, that was all Presti. That was all
I think,
Presti.
and I know he regrets it every day. I know he does.
Man,
He valued Ibaka over James Harden.
Yeah, they had just given Serge Ibaka all that money, but what they didn't know about Serge Ibaka is that he was 40 years old.
The hardest finesse.
You cannot trust anybody from the continent. You can't trust any of their age. I heard that Manute Bol was like 50
Yeah,
still
they
playing
said
in
that
the
he was
NBA.
like 50 or 60 years old and he was still playing.
Still playing in the NBA.
at 7, what was he? 7'7"? I can believe it.
So I don't trust Serge Ibaka. When they said he was 25, he's probably 29, and they gave him all that money, and then it blew up in their face because he was no longer good enough to warrant having that money. And that's what it is. And then they didn't have the money to pay James Harden. The crazy thing about it is it was similar to like the Jimmy Butler thing, but they were only off by like a couple $1,000,000. But that couple $1,000,000 for them would have been like triple or quadruple or something like that when it comes to their salary cap, which is why they didn't want to give them the money, and that's why they traded them. And like it's understandable, but you look back at it, these guys, I personally think James Harden is MVP this year. These dudes, that team, they have 3 guys that have, that were potentially MVPs, and that's just crazy that that only one of them is on the team now. But we were talking about Houston.
Yeah.
We were talking about Houston. Just this for you. The boys is playing, man. Hey, the boys are playing, and it looks really, really good. Everything seems to fit, but that's the thing with a Mike D'Antoni coached offensive team. It always, except for the Lakers, they didn't fit at all. But
They didn't fit at all.
Mike D'Antoni teams,
Dumbass Dwight Howard.
Mike D'Antoni teams always look good offensively. And that New York team didn't look good either.
Yeah.
But when they have actual guys that are willing to share the ball, can shoot, can run the floor, they always look good. And you insert Chris Paul, and it feels like he just dropped out of no goddamn where, but it always been there. That's how well they run their offense. Like if you're looking for the antithesis of OKC, it's Houston. They run an offense, they play together, it all looks good. I have a question for you too. Do they have a chance of beating the Golden?
Hell yeah. Hell,
whoa,
yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're fucking right. I said it. If Buddy can, no. First of all, let me start over. Let me pump the brakes, the air brakes. If they make an acquisition before the trade deadline for a veteran defensive help to help come off the bench, I truly believe
Okay,
they could beat Golden State.
I guess the
do.
question is, who is this veteran defensive
Because they already
presence
got
that you're
PJ
talking about?
Tucker.
Huh? What'd you say, Chris?
Like Dre said, who's his help? Because they already got PJ Tucker and Lou Mamute. Who's the help?
I feel if this fool, DeAndre Jordan, if he start acting up over there in LA,
But they already got Clint Capella. He is the
Exactly.
DeAndre.
man, shit, they'll trade that boy for DeAndre in a second.
I mean, they would trade him, I'm sure. Here's the thing with having DeAndre Jordan on the team that you have to play Golden
This
State.
shit blocks so bad.
They cannot. He can't guard anyone on Golden State,
That is true.
and they can't guard anyone on Golden State. Like as a team, like I feel like okay, what you're gonna do is you're gonna put. I'm assuming you're gonna put Chris Paul on Steph. Steph historically rapes CP3.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's
And then
real bad,
once
too.
that starts happening, who do you put on KD? Like it's just, but beyond just the not being able to okay, they can score with them, but they're not going to be able to play enough defense to stop them when it always comes a point in every game with Golden State at this point where their defense just tightens the screws on you.
It's keep going, Dre. You preaching? I ain't gonna stop.
Yeah, they tighten. It's like old school Chicago Bulls or even those Miami teams. They tighten the screws, and then it's like, now what? What do you do? I don't think those that Houston has enough defense on their team to keep up with them defensively. It's not even about the offense. It's about whether or not they can get enough stops. Because Golden State is going to get their stops. They're going to stop you. Sooner or later, you're going to get stopped by Golden State. Now, the question is whether or not you can stop them. And I don't think Houston is good enough to stop them. But maybe they are. I don't know. Maybe they will get
they
DeAndre
can't beat
Jordan.
them. I could.
It'll go 6 or 7 though.
It just comes down
it'll go
to
6 or 7.
if they could be disciplined defensively, because as much I've been saying this for years. As good as Golden State is offensively, I truly believe they may be better defensively.
When it matters, they are.
In crunch time, these guys, they have some of the best defensive rotation I have ever seen. Ever.
That's because your boy that nobody wants to give any credit to.
Say his name. Yeah.
That's because your boy DeAndre. Draymond Green,
big mouth.
that nobody, the what is he a bit
the
player,
on the
glue guy?
He's mediocre.
I'm not going that far. I'm not going that far.
Yeah,
I would say he defensively he is the most instrumental person on that team. And offensively he's a real instrumental part because he allows them the shooters to just go wherever they want to go. He could run the offense. He's a point. He is a superstar
point forward
glue guy. That's why when it was funny because we were having that conversation in the thread, and I said that the glue guy for the Miami Heat was fucking Chris Bosh, and people were like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, he's a superstar, but he was the glue. He was the reason why their defense was able to work the way that it worked. He was the reason why their offense was able to work the way that it worked. Because if you remember that first year, the offense for Cleveland or Miami wasn't even all that good, and it was mostly because they didn't have anybody that could spread the floor. When Chris Bosh was able to start hitting 3-pointers, it was spreading the floor. He kept their offense together, and then on defense, his ability to switch off and play multiple positions kept their defense together. He was the glue guy. He was the guy that put the entire thing together. He doesn't learn how to shoot threes, their offense isn't good. He can't switch out and play point guards on pick and roll, their defense isn't as good. Like I think people don't realize that. Like you think a glue guy, like you think of Shane Battier. Shane Battier was just like a really good piece to their team. The guy that kept everything together was Chris Bosh, and I'll fight you to the death. I will argue anybody who says differently. We can sit here and argue all goddamn day about it.
Matter of fact, LeBron. I remember it was a stretch where LeBron and Dwayne Wade, when the year they won their second title, LeBron and Dwayne Wade went out for I think 12 or 13 games. And those 12 or 13 games, they only lost
Chris
twice.
Bosh
and
was
Chris
Toronto
Bosh
Chris Bosh.
He was
Toronto Chris
dominating.
Bosh.
He was averaging like 26 and 12 a game. Like he was killing. I think he had like 2 game winners, one over the Clippers and one over the Blazers. He was dominating.
Yeah, because that's the type of player that he was. But I mean, I think the idea of the glue guy is misconstrued a little bit. That people don't believe that a superstar like Scottie Pippen was a glue guy. He was the guy that kept the Bulls teams together. Like Michael Jordan was Michael Jordan, but Scottie Pippen was Scottie Pippen. He was their glue guy. He kept everything together. That's just what he did. And I don't know. That's just the way that I think about this stuff. And I don't know. Like to go back to what we were talking about. We're talking about Houston and whether or not they could beat Golden State. I don't know, man. I think it would take a lot for them to beat them. It would take some things going wrong, a lot of things going wrong for Golden State, and a lot of things going right for them.
Yeah.
And I don't see it happening.
I got a question for you.
Not this year.
Is Kevin Durant still alive?
You know, he's been
Kevin
injured.
Durant. I don't think Kevin Durant died.
I think he's in and out because of injuries, and I feel like Steve Kerr is pulling the Popovich, where he's resting those guys.
Yeah.
Well, that Steph Curry ankle thing was serious. Like that could have been disastrous for them. I think they got really lucky with that. But
I really feel like that Steph Curry injury thing is making his trifling ass expendable, and I will bask in the glory if that is.
That dude is not expendable at all. He is.
Wow,
I don't understand like what it is you have against Steph. You have this thing against him, and it's cool. But there's no way in the world Steph Curry is dispensable. He is a top 3 basketball player in the world. He's the greatest shooter of all time. He's indispensable. I think you missed an IN in front of the dispensable. But that's what
is you know, I'm never gonna get over that. You know, what unanimous MVP vote? You know, as
I mean,
Michael
he was
Jordan
unanimously the best basketball player of the year. I mean, just because people were stupid in the past, don't mean they need to be stupid now.
Like, you know what? They need to go back and revote. They need to votes. That's
go revote.
Yeah.
Go back in the past and retroactively give Michael Jordan some unanimous MVP.
Damn right. I'm mad as hell. I'm still mad about that shit.
I'm not going to disagree with you. Maybe they should go back and unanimously give Michael Jordan some.
Never forget I said, ain't this a bitch? Ain't this about a bitch? They gave this fool unanimous MVP vote. Michael Jordan been killing things.
But okay, Devin, was he not unanimously the best basketball player in the league?
Damn if he was or wasn't.
I mean, man, he was shooting I don't know, man. He was shooting it from the moon. I think he deserved it that year, man.
He deserved it. He deserved it the following year too. Shit, he was the best player. I mean, it is what it is. But okay.
I mean, the best player, I don't know. I mean, every single year you can give it to LeBron. To be honest,
no, you could not have given it to LeBron that year. Could not have. Not
last year. Are you talking about last year?
The last 3 years.
Much as I love
he was not the best player in the league.
His black ass last year.
Like, I understand the idea. The idea of LeBron being the most valuable player. I understand the idea, but we're just talking about on-court production and the team success.
Okay, yeah.
He was not the best basketball player the last 3 years, and that's why he didn't win the MVP.
Does he win another one before he retires?
Let me tell you something. Him and James Harden right now, they are going neck and neck because
they're going.
I think after the All-Star game, I think James Harden will start to break away because you'll see.
I don't really think it's that close, to be honest with you.
You don't think so?
Nope, I don't.
Well,
team success, team success plus production.
If you put Chris Paul.
He didn't have Chris Paul for like the first month of the season.
That's true.
They were still winning.
They were still dogging. They were dogging niggas, man. They were dogging.
They were still winning. He was still putting up his points, still doing his thing.
Bron ain't have Chris Paul either.
Huh? Well, he never had them. Like it wasn't. He wasn't supposed to be there. That's why.
Hey, we talk about OKC being this bad, man. Imagine if Cleveland would have actually went out there and got CP3 and Carmelo. Imagine how horrible that lineup would have been, man.
Nah, LeBron would have figured out a way to make it.
I think LeBron would have figured that out because
Yeah.
LeBron's. It goes back to what Dre said. Basketball IQ. LeBron probably has some of the best basketball IQ the game has ever seen, and he doesn't rush much as much as Russ does. Rush. Jesus.
You know what?
Rush as much as Russ. You know what? That shit rhymes for a reason.
I said when OKC got Melo, I was like, man, I wish he would have went to Houston, and I still think that would have been the better place for him to go. Houston would have been a better fit for him because you have two guys that will pass the ball,
and they play in a half-court based offense that works. I feel even though D'Antoni has a history of just run and gun offense, it feels like he's adapted and he's adjusted to the game. And this works for them. Chris Paul brings the ball up the court. They run an offense. Actually, both of them can bring the ball up the court.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing.
And just imagine a Melo in that offense on the mid-range or in the post. He would dominate.
Or just on the elbows for threes and corner threes and all these things that would look good that he's probably trying to get in OKC that he just can't get because your point guard wants to take 12 3-pointers in the game. Okay. All right. Let's stop talking about the Western Conference.
No, I got one more Western Conference team.
One more Western. Please don't hate on Golden State because I mean it's enough of that in the thread that I just can't take any more of it. I can't.
The hating the thread on Golden State, man. I don't understand it. I mean, I understand.
Yeah, it's not even hate on Golden State. This is hate on Kevin Durant.
No.
And Draymond Green.
It's
Draymond.
Right. It's hate on Draymond Green.
But that's mostly just though.
Draymond Green deserves an apology, a written one from
just
all the niggas in that thread.
From all of them. Well, y'all heard Devin. All of y'all are going to need to send Draymond Green a handwritten apology. You can't type it up. You have to write it in New Times Roman.
Font needs to be 12.
Format.
12 font. Double spaced. Handwritten.
Works cited.
Works cited. Hell yeah.
Look, enough.
One more Western Conference team that we need to talk about because it relates to us as Eastern Conference people. That goddamn Thibodeau and his goddamn minutes on all these kids on this team.
Didn't we say this though?
Ridiculous. I'm watching the game right now.
Didn't we say this?
It's ridiculous. Karl Anthony Towns has not left the floor. What's the time right now? Hold on. It's 6:03. I've been watching this whole time. He's been in the game since 8 minutes left in the third quarter. This is your starting center. Joel Embiid looked fresh, ready to go. He gets some time on the bench. Who's only down by 6? The Philadelphia 76ers.
Now they're down by 3.
I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, can't nobody tell him because that's why he took the job in Minnesota. So nobody would have to tell him shit.
Did you hear I know you heard your boy though.
Who?
I know you heard Jimmy. Like, yeah, it might be time for us to say something to him about these minutes. And I want to be like, shut your bitch ass up.
Please.
Listen, I need to be coached hard. He's coaching you hard. Accept it. Shut up. I want to hear Jimmy talk about minutes being too many minutes for him. He's supposed to be. He want to be coached hard. He getting coached hard. Shut up, nigga.
All that whining. Ain't trying to hear no more.
Yeah, but we all
got what you wanted.
Yeah, you got exactly what you wanted. So nobody care about this. But we all felt like this was going to happen, right? We're all Chicago Bulls fans except for Chris. He a turncoat fucking Spurs.
Turncoat.
Come on now.
You ain't never seen I wrote my article, The 10 Commandments of fandom.
Oh
my God. One of the first commandments was that you can't have 2 goddamn teams. You broke it. You out of here, Chris. You're done.
Yeah, it's like that.
Unless the team is out of the playoffs.
Fired. You've been fired.
Yeah, 2 favorite teams.
It is like 1 day after your 2 days after your 1-year anniversary. You out of here. Fuck it. You're done.
unless your team ain't in the playoffs. Because let me tell you something. Boy, when the Packers got eliminated last year, I wanted Atlanta to win that shit so bad. Dre, I swear to God, you'd have thought that I was a Falcons fan all my life. I was hurt when the niggas gave up that lead to the Patriots. Oh,
28-3, man. I don't hear nothing from nobody in Atlanta forever.
Well, except the thick women.
Get off my city's back.
Except the thick.
Hey, y'all got some beautiful women down there. I ain't gonna even lie to you, fam. Whee.
Some beautiful women in Minnesota too at this game.
They out with bloomers. Like, ain't that what Charles Barkley would say?
I think we just lost another demographic.
Fuck that demographic. They probably voted for Roy Moore anyways.
I knew you about to say that. But look, yeah, we all knew that Thibodeau was going to do this. This is what he wants to do. He's an old school coach that doesn't believe in newfangled things about the body and consistency and minutes hurting and all of that. He doesn't care. Next guy up. Do your job. It's always going to be that. Do your job. This is what he does. So, there's nothing surprising here. But what is surprising is that yesterday, Nico and Bobby Portis both scored 20 points. 20 plus points, I think. And the Bulls won, which is a bummer.
Dumbass shit.
But the one thing that came out of that win is I think it was Chicago Sports Net had this this graphic up. It was like 1-2 punch. like no, you cannot put 1-2 punch up and then have Bobby Portis.
They know what they were doing.
It was almost worth them winning to see that to see that graphic up. It was almost worth it.
I really wish they cut that shit out.
That graphics designer, whoever put that graphic up, is the real MVP.
Oh, that's the real MVP.
I think it's okay for them to win a couple games. I didn't expect for them to lose every single game, which it seems like a lot of Bulls fans expected them to lose every single game. I don't know why you thought they were going to lose every single game, but I think it's important for the team, this young team, to win some games. It was not healthy for them to so consistently get leads on teams and then lose the game at the end. Like, that's not good for a young team if you want some of these guys to stay on the team and all they're doing is blowing leads. You need for them to learn how to win some of those games. I like what Chris Dunn has been doing over the last 8 or 9 games. He's looked like a very competent NBA point guard. And you want that. You want him to look like a competent basketball player. I want Nico to be good because it just makes it all the better when we trade his monkey ass. And I think they're going to end up trading Robin Lopez, as they should, for more assets, draft picks, whatever you need, whatever they can get for them. I think they need to do all of that. I think these guys need to look like good basketball players to get something out of them. Mm-hmm. You can't get anything out of them. What's the purpose of them even being out there? You can't just say, well, we're out here to get the number 1 draft pick and then see what happens. Like, okay, it took Philadelphia 25 years to become a good basketball team again. They're still only like 12-12. So they're not that great. Like, they're better than they were in the past, but losing 150 games every year is bad for your culture. So I want to see these young guys get good. Even Denzel Valentine has looked good, and you want to see a progression. And then you get Zach LaVine back, and you get a high draft pick, and maybe it doesn't take you 5 or 6, 7, 8, a decade before you become a good basketball team again. Maybe it just takes you 2 years. You get another high draft pick and another good basketball player, and you see what happens.
Calling on you, Lord. Please.
I would like
to bring us on back home.
I want that Aiden kid. That dude is awesome.
Yeah. I like Colin Sexton. Kid from Alabama. He's
good too. But did you just see what DeAndre Ayton did to him? He put like 30 and 18 on him.
Nah, man. If we keep losing, we should be able to get Marvin Bagley. Hopefully.
It's something about Bagley.
Yeah, my jury is still out on him.
It's still out on him. There's something about him. Like, he seems a tad bit unathletic, maybe.
Yeah, he seemed like he make
I
a
can see
few,
that.
simple mistakes. And by simple, I don't mean you remember
Like
in life.
he
You
just
remember in
got
life.
a opposable thumb. Simple. Is
Yeah.
that what you mean?
Yeah, you remember in life, Martin was like, "Hey man, can't get right to hit another home run." Eddie Murphy was like, "Yeah, that might be one of them."
Is that what you think it
I'm not gonna
is?
say that. I'm not gonna say that on the pod. I can't lose any more demographics. I really can't. We can't afford it.
You think that's the problem with him?
You know, he be having these moments. Like I remember I was watching Kawhi a few years ago take a free throw shot. I was like, is that boy unable?
Nah, you know who is unable though?
Oh God. I'm
Nigga Devin
sorry.
is ridiculous,
I'm
man.
sorry, man. It's just like Evan Turner. You ever look at him like, hey,
Oh my God! Don't.
I
what's wrong with
told you,
that?
like, man, Evan Turner is like a one DNA strand away from a caveman. No, you can't really be talking about him.
I
He
feel
is.
like that nigga got some chromosomes missing.
I told you, just one strand away. Yeah, making a wheel out of a boulder.
Oh
He's
shit.
one wheel away. Fire. One DNA strand away.
I could just see myself standing next to Marvin Bagley. Like, say, dog, you cool?
He just he just like just staring. This nigga
Oh
ain't cool,
God.
yo. Something wrong with him. He ain't right.
But I'm still not sold on him. I want to see him in not tournament play, in conference play, and see how he does, because that's a different beast. Look at this. Just got an update. Rockets to sign LeBron. Oh, never mind. Never mind. That was for next summer.
Yeah, that they're like
That was my bad.
they're a player to sign LeBron. And I mean, I can see it. I would actually like that. I want them to do it. Please sign LeBron. Please.
So I can never watch basketball again.
Why you ain't gonna never watch basketball again, bro?
Nah, I'm not trying to see that. That's not even fair. Eastern Conference might as well just be a shoe in for
It is a
Celtics.
shoe in. It's a shoe in for LeBron every damn year. What are you talking about? LeBron is in the finals every year because the Eastern Conference is a trash heap.
Speaking of that, see, you just made a good point. Does that devalue LeBron's greatness? The fact that he's walked to the finals every single year because of a weak
Absolutely not.
conference.
That ain't
Absolutely
his
not.
damn fault.
That's not his fault. LeBron is great. There's nothing you can say about LeBron's greatness. He's a top 10 basketball player of all time. People have him in their top five. I don't argue that at all.
Top five.
I don't argue it. It's
Shut
hard
your
to
damn
argue.
mouth.
It's hard to argue
Yeah.
him not being in the top five. He's just not in mine. Like, he's just not in mine. That's fine. I mean, he's like 6 or 7. So, like, is that like bad? Is it bad that he's 6 or 7?
They getting mad.
No, I
Five?
mean he's top 10 to me. He's not top 5, but he's definitely top 10.
So, no, it doesn't devalue his greatness. You
Okay.
can only play the people that are in front of you, and it's not his fault that the people in front of him are trash.
Garbage.
Not his fault. It'll never be his fault. All you can do is play. He's played. He's dominated for 10 years straight. Ain't nothing you can do about it. So people just have to, you just got to deal with it. It just sucks that there's nothing in the Eastern Conference that are even capable, and the only team that was capable of beating them just imploded in one season. Just absolutely imploded.
Who?
The Indiana Pacers. That
Oh
team
yeah.
imploded.
Oh,
I don't know
yeah.
who. I don't know who was screwing whose girl. Whatever happened with that team after the second half of the year, where they were, after they took, where did they go, 7 games with Miami that year, and then the
Mm-hmm.
following year they were like blowing everybody out in the first half of the season, and then after the All Star break, I don't know what went on with Roy. What was that? What's that dude's last name? Can you
Roy
remember his
Hibbert.
last name? Roy Hibbert. And what went on with PG and all of them? I don't know what it was, but something happened. Something clearly went wrong, and now here we are. They imploded, and everybody was getting traded, and everybody was leaving the following year. So
I
it's not his
can't.
fault.
Yeah, I can't knock LeBron for that. I really do think that I may look at LeBron differently if he goes to Houston. I really do.
Why would you not? I mean, come on.
How you gonna look differently at him? He just trying to win another championship because the way it is going, the odds of him winning another one slim to none.
Partially because all my side bets was on him going to LA.
Yeah.
But that's not looking like the greatest move right now.
You know, if we're gonna talk about LA, I'll say this. Everybody, you remember earlier in the year when everybody was shitting all over Brandon Ingram? That dude is playing.
Brandon Ingram
Man,
got game.
is he?
He
Is he?
is playing his ass off lately.
You know why?
Because all the hype's on Lonzo.
Yep. That and he's demanding the ball more. He's bringing the ball up the court, actually.
As he should be. He
Lonzo,
should be playing the game the same way that KD played the game.
yeah.
Is-
Could you imagine? Do you think Brandon Ingram tell Zoe in practice, "Hey man, give me the ball with your timid ass"? You know what you doing? Come on, Kyle. I'm sorry, Baylor. I'm sorry. I know you're gonna say that your team is so great. That's why I'm talking about them.
Man, they suck ass. Point blank.
My bad. I can't help it. Inglewood up to no good.
Rich Englewood. You talking about the one with the E, right?
That's right. Oh, put in the Shot-Town sound bout right there.
All right.
Wait, one quick question, man. Have y'all seen Ben Simmons' free throw stroke?
I mean, I've seen
like
him shoot in general. It's all bad.
He's taking like 5 jump shots this year, fam. And who does Jimmy think he is? Mike, you beating the 76ers, man. Calm your ass down.
If you haven't figured it out, we are around here don't really care for Jimmy Butler.
Man,
He's
fuck
not our
that
favorite player. Damn, God. I mean, that was a very, very aggressive.
Yeah, that's right.
That was very aggressive.
Fam, he out here pounding his chest like he beating prime Kobe in 7 games or something. You
Look,
playing the 76ers.
It's Jimmy Butler, dog. Listen, that's who he was when he got there. That's who he was now. That's who he's going to be forever. Jimmy Butler is a diva. But they got a reason to be. He's a cornball brother.
Damn. All right, but, I mean,
Taylor Swift listening to K-pop making ass.
Shut up, Drake.
Okay, you guys got it. I give you 2 minutes. Go.
The man's from Tomball, Texas. Might as well be Cornball, Texas.
It's corny ass.
You seen his hair?
Listen, Jimmy Butler better not ever sniff cocaine with them nostrils he got. I'm telling you right now, they gonna have him. They gonna make it 30 for 30 off his black ass if he ever step near that stuff.
Well, we already had somebody with nostrils like that did a shit ton of cocaine. His name was Daryl Strawberry.
Daryl Strawberry.
I thought you said Michael Irvin.
Okay.
Oh shit.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Either or.
And sometimes Jimmy Butler be having some Carlos Boozer moments, faking defensive effort.
Yeah.
Acting like he doing some shit, but he really ain't. Let's see what he gonna do against. Oh, put that work on him, Embiid.
That's because he doesn't play defense anymore. He hasn't played defense since he became Jimmy B Buckets.
since he got the contract. That's he ain't played defense.
Since he got the B, he has not played defense.
No.
I blame Stacey King.
For giving him that
gassed
B.
him up.
You should have never gave him that B. I'm about to send Stacey a tweet. Stacey, you should have never gave him that B. That nigga don't want to play defense. All he want to do is get buckets. You gassed him up.
If Jimmy was still on the Bulls, he would have killed the progressive production of Lauri Markkanen.
Yeah,
easily,
definitely,
yeah,
easily.
Now Rondo was still on the team.
Oh no,
that would have helped a lot.
Look at 4 seconds left. Jimmy Butler almost traveled, puts it up. Brick City, not Dog City. Brick City,
not Dog City.
Yeah.
Taj Butler. Ooh.
All right, y'all 2 minutes. Y'all 2 minutes of Jimmy Butler hate is up. Is anything? Is there anything else that you fellas wanted to talk about before we get out of here?
We gotta talk about football real quick.
What are we talking about? What you want to talk about?
What are we talking about?
That Mike Mitchell rant. We gotta talk about that real quick because that man, somebody gave him some truth serum.
I forgot what he was talking about. What was he talking about?
He was talking about the hits and how defensive players
being flag football and all of that.
He was thrashing Andy Dalton, fam. Your quarterback throws a bad ball. I was like, ooh.
No, it's true.
You know, I just can't. I get where Mike Mitchell's coming from. I truly do. I get where he's coming from, where James Harrison's coming from.
All of those guys.
Cam Chancellor, all those defensive guys. I feel probably in the last 3 years, since my youngest son has become a bigger boy, he's 5 now, and I've watched him just progress in just athletics and stuff like that. I watch some of these games now in a different light, and I literally, all these games, I rarely watch them to get, excitement from the game. And it's like, as a general fan does, like, oh man, that's a great play. I'm literally watching every time and saying, like, that shit looked like it really hurt. That isn't natural. That is not what a human being should be doing.
Yeah, I'll say this shouldn't be happening.
This shit should not be going on. And then it always accumulates to me saying, there is no
fucking way
that I am letting my 2 little boys play football. Absolutely. Positively.
I don't even watch the shit.
Hell no.
So I'm definitely not going to allow them to play that sport. But I do, like you said, I do understand what they're saying. It's like there's too much stuff for them to worry about to stay safe because there's too many other things that they need to think about instead of just playing the game. And that's a valid criticism of all the things that's going on. But the problem is the sport itself, that they have to try to police it so much to make it safe because it's just not fucking safe. It's not safe. People should not be crashing their brains into other people at like high speeds. You just shouldn't. And you can't tell me otherwise. Nobody can tell me that these are things that should be happening. You just shouldn't do these things. And that's why they're trying to make it so that the game is safer. But in the process, they're making people think about so much that it's not as safe as they would like it to be. They have to think about these things.
I just don't understand what they can do to make it any safer. I really don't.
I know I have the perfect way for them to make football safe. Stop fucking playing it. Like that's the only way.
That's the only way.
Or black folks stop playing it, so it's not entertaining anymore.
Damn. You know what? Send y'all hate mail. What's your email, Chris?
Christian.braswell16@gmail.com. Send it all you want.
What the hell is your email? What did you just say?
Christian.braswell16.
Oh, Jesus.
It's his name.
Boy.
Yeah.
I thought he said Christian.brazers.
Oh, okay. All right. Is that anything else?
James.
Is that
I got one quick question.
Oh, they gonna lock us up.
It's 35 points on 29 shots good. Is that a good ratio?
39 points on how many shots?
35 points on 29 shots.
No, that's awful. It's absolutely awful. It's abysmal.
So Jimmy does fucking suck then, right?
I mean, I don't like Jimmy either, but I'm not going to say he sucks. Jimmy doesn't
Smell
suck.
like fat nose Jimmy to me.
Jimmy doesn't suck. He just is not nearly as good as people made him out to be last year.
As he thinks he is.
Or as he thinks he is. But a lot of people put him out there to be that good, and he's not. He is a really good second fiddle. He is a great third. That's what he is.
Mm-hmm.
If he's your third best player on the team, you have an awesome fucking team. If he's your first player on the team, you're not going too far. And I consistently said that when he was in the Bulls uniform, that Jimmy Butler can't be your best player. I consistently said that he can't. And now he's on a team where he's, what sucks is that he probably still is the best player on that Minnesota team because Karl Anthony Towns doesn't play any defense.
Because they play no damn defense.
Yeah,
Period.
Oh my God, that man is horrible on the defensive end, bro.
When he does try to play, that team looks completely different. But when he doesn't, they are awful.
Did
And
y'all
he's
see
the
when they
reason
played
why.
Did y'all see when they played the Warriors and how Draymond just like torched him the entire game? I was like, wow, this nigga really sucks on the defense.
Draymond he's a
Dog
special
City.
he's dog city. He's a
Yeah.
special basketball player, so I expect him to do those types of things, especially to a guy like Jimmy Butler.
Well, y'all know Justin hate this podcast. All this recognition we giving Draymond.
Sorry, you're gonna have to endure it. Is there anything else you guys had before we got up out of here?
My final words are,
Oh no! It had been a while since we did a podcast. You got to tell us what you're mad about.
oh hell yeah.
I
Go ahead,
don't
Chris.
think you were on here. You weren't on here for the first time we did that. I don't think. I think it was just me, Rob, and Chris. What are you mad about?
Who?
You or anybody, Chris? What are you mad about?
Y'all might want to go first.
Yeah. I'm pissed off. I'm upset.
Go,
And I shouldn't be.
Dev. What are you
I
mad
shouldn't
about?
be mad. Yankees just got Giancarlo Stanton. I should be happy. But I got to see people on Twitter mad at the Yankees. How can they do this? Why do they always get the best players? Why don't they ever have to pay anything? Why can't you mind your own goddamn business? Why can't you ask your shit team why they not making moves like that? I'm tired of people always pointing the finger at everybody damn else. Miami, Derek Jeter went to Miami and took over that team for a reason, because them trifling ass motherfuckers down there didn't know what the hell they was doing. You gave this kid $300 some odd million
And a
on a huge contract, a stupid ass contract at that, where you gave him a no trade clause to pick whatever team he wanted to go to, and then you said, you know what, we don't want the team no more. So what did Derek Jeter do? He said, get that shit on out of here. That's not my contract. That's not something that I signed up for. And he actually, a lot of people don't want to admit this, especially a lot of Yankee faithful. He actually finessed the Yankees because he gave them the majority of that contract, then got 2 prospects along with Starlin Castro. And he freed up their bank so that next year they can go out and get free agents. Like Manny Machado, if he don't get traded to the Yankees, I'm praying. That said, it's so idiotic to me that people think that they have to blame the Yankees. If you were in Major League Baseball and you wanted to be great, there's only a few teams that you want to play for, and I guarantee you the Yankees is one of them. Mind your own damn business. Your nose belongs on your face and not in the Bronx. I'm gonna stay mad, and I'm gonna keep on slandering, because in the coming days, I know we're gonna get Manny Machado, and I'm gonna talk some more shit. That's what I'm
talking all this about the Yankees, yet still ain't got no pitching staff.
You fucking, is you crazy? We got the best bullpen in baseball, niggas. You nuts?
Is that a pitching staff?
It's
That's a
something like
bullpen.
that. Shit, and we about to get Michael Fulmer. You know what? Now you got me mad. Now you got me riled. I'm about to turn to Dusty Rhodes on your ass.
All right, Chris. What is it that you are mad about?
You know what I'm mad
about? We
about?
got no pitching staff. Severino, the best young kid in the league. Like, you know what? I'm gonna let you cook. You do your motherfucking thing. I'm gonna do your thing. You know what, Dre? I'm sorry. This nigga called me. He tried to pull my car. That we could both agree on one thing. That racist ass Jake Arrieta is out of Chicago. Get him on out of here.
Thank God.
You sound like Trump.
You go ahead. You do what you got to do.
You sound like Trump. Go ahead, Chris.
You know what I'm mad about? The fact that white women love black men so much.
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
They want mixed kids so bad with nice curly hair and nice light brown skin. And
like that.
Got the out here voting 74% for
Y'all niggas have
for that Roy Moore dude. Come on now, really?
Ain't nobody gonna download our shit. Ain't no...
Really? That's all y'all want? That's all we good for? The kids?
That is all we're good for.
Y'all don't care about our lives? Y'all don't care about the success of black men who want the kids?
No, they don't. Now you know. Shit. They don't. They really
don't.
I got a quick story for that.
Man, we're really not gonna get these downloads. It's crazy.
Listen. When I joined the Navy, right? They was like, "What's your ethnicity?" And I was like, "Oh, my mom's black and my dad's Hawaiian and German." And they were like, "Oh, okay, just bringing the information, saying so." I brought in everything. First week of boot camp, looked at my hard card, looked at ethnicity. You know what it read? Black male.
Yeah, that's what you are.
You think they give a shit about all that other shit? So these white women got a rude awakening if they're thinking that's what's gonna happen. You think consensus come around asking people that shit? No. This was a brother that lived at 6704.
Oh man, I'm trying, Lord. I'm trying to get us some viewers, some hits.
Don't call on God now. It's too late. Chris opened up Pandora's box.
All right. So what am I mad about? I don't watch football. And I've said this many times over many different podcasts, but I do watch highlights because they pop up on Twitter. I don't even know who the quarterback was from this past Sunday. But I saw some guy get hit, and he was laying on the ground. And it looked like he was either having a seizure, getting electrocuted, or was getting a lethal injection. I don't know which one was happening to him. But he was on the ground, and he was twitching around like a fish out of water. And that guy got up, and I don't know how many plays later it was, but I saw him in the game after that hit. That pisses me off. Football needs to be stopped. It is a fucking problem. When you see a hit like that and a guy twitching around on the ground like that, and he still gets to play the game. Like that seems like some neurological problems that maybe should take precedence over him quarterbacking an NFL football team. And it doesn't seem like safety really matters. It feels like for the NFL, safety is kind of like it's a facade. Like they want you to think that they care about the safety of the other players, but they really, really don't.
Could give a shit about it.
That really pisses me off. Because these are the same guys that are going to be blowing their brains out 15, 20 years from now. Same guys that are going to be, I don't know, drinking themselves to death on drugs, jumping off of buildings, homeless, because they have no goddamn common sense and their brains don't work. And we'll be trying to take care of them years and years and years from now, because the NFL does not give a shit about them. That's what's pissing me off. This has been the According to Sources podcast. I'm glad you guys you joined us. You know where to find us is A2 Sources on Twitter. It's accordingtosources@gmail.com. Accordingtosources.com is the website where you can see Sean Covington write about WWE every day. According to Sources is the Facebook page. Yeah, and we're part of a podcast network, the ETMF Podcast Network. There's a bunch of different podcasts on there, video games, movies, obviously sports, pop culture. So, you could probably go there and find something that you will undoubtedly enjoy. Thanks for joining us. For Chris, Devin, I'm Dre. We out. Peace.